it's Andrea, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Manitoba, Canada. Welcome to episode 2 of Scrap Attack. I have a new toy that I really want to play with today, so we are going to be cutting out some hexagons with the hexagon stamp. I have already gone ahead and cut a couple. I have a very loose idea for this card, and I'm thinking that I'm probably going to end up with scraps. So I'm going to make 2 cards for the price of 1. So yeah, we'll see where we end up on this crafty journey. So I have got designer series paper from a paper pack from a couple of years ago. They are all coordinating. That's one of the beauties of Stampin' Up! Cardstock and designer series paper. If the back of the paper pack has, say, balmy blue on it, and you have another pack that says balmy blue, you know that the colors are going to be exact and they're going to match and they're going to coordinate and there's no guesswork involved, because easy crafting is what it's all about. So I have a whack of these guys already cut out. So I'm going to grab my tape runner, love snail, and apparently dimensional backs. And I'm going to pick 2 patterns and place them let's see, which way are we going to go? It's funny how stripes can play a trick on you, because it totally looks like with the striped, the hexagon is not straight, but it actually is. Looks a little wonky to my eye at the moment, but it's fine. So I'll move this guy out of the way. The paper pack that or the background paper that I am dealing with is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we're just going to go ahead and layer and stack. Do this one. And I think I have 8 patterns here. I'll do this one, that one. I'll do that one. So as I'm placing around the edge, I'm only going to add adhesive to the outside. I'm not going to apply adhesive to everybody because I don't want it all stuck down just quite yet. And then we'll add, got that one already, we've got this one already, but I don't have that side. This is also a great way to showcase both sides of the paper. Okay, what the heck? There's that side. There we go. Optical illusions, they're weird. Or maybe it's just me. Got that one showing, got that one showing. We don't have the presents. Don't really love the present side though. Do that one, I think. Actually, I'm going to pull the scraps that I had left over in a second. Over there. And then just as you're going around mixing and matching, you can kind of puzzle piece it together a bit. And then we'll add this one. No. Not that one. Not that one. Maybe we'll do that one. It's kind of like putting a quilt together. You want to have the patterns not quite lined up with each other. Okay. And then we're going to bring in our paper trimmer and we're just going to trim along the edges, and then we're going to piecemeal our next one. So there we go. we will have some teeny tiny pieces that we're not going to be able to use on what I'm planning for the second card. And we can just line that up to our measure. Cut that one. Get rid of the piece that's stuck. That one's not quite. There we go, that's better. And then line that up at the 4-inch mark. And give it trimmed down. All right. So we've got our extra pieces. I'm gonna put off to the side. Bring this guy over, put that there for now. Excuse me. And then we are just going to create a border for the rest of it. For our second one, we're going to do a border. Now, I don't fully have a plan for this one. I know you're shocked if you've been here for a minute and a half. No, it's a little too small. Okay, we're just going to bring this up. When you're piecing things together, it doesn't always line up exactly as you want it to. But sometimes close enough is good enough. Oh, I just noticed that that is the same as the other side. So we're just going to flip that one over. I'm going to bring this one up. And we're going to pull this one off because it's too close. And we'll bring in this one. So kind of try to line up our top pieces. Bring this guy down a little. Ruler would probably be easier, but it's fine. There we go. Okay, and then this one, do that one. There's a lot of, not always, but frequently there's a good bit of talking to yourself when you're in the craft room. Cut this guy in half-ish. Oops. I'm not too worried about it being exactly in half or exactly lined up because it's going to be covered. And then this one. Actually. Okay. We are going to slice this one at 5. If you get adhesive stuck down onto your craft mat or your paper trimmer, and it will come up, just a little bit of rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer will take care of that for you. I'm just going to trim a tiny little bit more off of that. So we're going to end up with a finished piece of 5 inches by 3 3/4. There we go. And then we are going to get a piece of basic white. 4 1/4, 5 1/2, perfect. And we are going to stamp on, let's see, 3 1/4. So let's do 3 1/2 maybe for this one, by 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, roughly. Might have to change that up a little bit and grab our stamp set, which I swear was just right here, and now it's not. All right, 1 second to grab our set. Okay, seriously. Oh, here it is. We are going to do a very quick, very simple 2U. Grab our block and our memento. You could color this if you want. I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of color to the bows. I'm going to leave everything else black and white. And then we're going to trim just a little. And then add a little bit of sparkle and bling. Now, I want to color with blends. This is dark real red. Oh, I know what we're going to use to add a little bit more color to this too. So I'm using the nub end of the blend because I find that it gives more control. I wish it was sunny today. It's a little hard to see sometimes with the shadows. Really super quick coloring job on this one. And then we're going to trim it, then we're going to layer, and then we're going to add our final touch because it will need a little bit of time to dry. So 2 inches, I think would be good for this one. And then we're going to bring it in a little bit. That looks even. So where we have this piece that didn't quite get covered, we're going to use that and have this end be a little bit more showy because it's a little bit more finished. So there we go. We're going to add our 2U. We are going to grab the enamel dots in white. Take your pick tool, it's right here. So I'm going to add the small white. I love these guys because you can color them with the blends as well to match. And we're just going to add a white dot in the middle of each of the bigger snowflakes or stars. Oops, I grab that one. And then we're going to grab the enamel effects. This is the real red. Give it a bit of a shake. It is really thick, so it doesn't separate too much. And I'm just going to do a practice dot because there was an air bubble. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a little dot where each of these black circles is. It adds a little bit of shimmer and shine. and just a little bit of added interest. So there's the first card. I should have actually stuck that on the card base. We'll do that with dimensionals because I can put those on, hopefully, without mucking up what I just did with the enamel effects. One more for the other corner. Make sure we're putting it on the right way because actually I'm going to do this one a little bit there. Do it at an angle. So there's card number 1 out of the scraps, or card number 2, I should say, out of the scraps that we got from card number 1. If you wanted to, you could use a different color card base. I like white. It just kind of gives it a little bit more of a crisp, clean look. And then we're going to finish off cup number 2. I'm using the cup stamp set for this one. Let's see. What are we going to do with this guy? Oh, actually, I just had an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll give it a shot and see. It's a good thing that this stamp was clean. We're just going to give this one a quick color too with our Stampin' Blends. We're going to go a little higher than I normally would with this one. So we're going to color and then we're going to try our idea, and then if it doesn't work, well, I guess we'll just go back to square one. Let's see, what colors have we got in here? Shaded Spruce. I'm going to use Real Red. We'll do the cup. Our cookie will be this with this. Candy cane will be red as well. You know what we'll do? Sorry, I'm just looking for Balmy Blue. Of course, it's right at the bottom. Oh, nope, that's black. Weird, it looks blue. Colors this one. There we go. Okay, now we color. I like to do circles when I'm coloring with the blends, just so that we don't get any marker lines. There we go. Or if you go side to side, you can still do that as well. But sometimes you get a bit of a line. So what I like to do after I'm done that, if that's the way that I'm doing, I'll do a second layer of color and I'll go in circles. And I do like the tip end better than the brush end usually for coloring, just because it does give me a little bit more control. And smaller areas, of course, 99% of the time get circles. It's all really, I think when you come down to it, with coloring, it's all about personal preference. So I'm doing second layer with flex on this one. With each layer of color that you add, it does get darker. And then I'm just going to do quick side to side. And then I'm going to go back and do some more flex here. If you make a mistake or you want your color to be a little bit lighter, you can also use the color lifter pen. Another layer of color with this guy. All right, we're done with the cup. No more playing. Our berries. This is Melon Mambo. It looks a little bit more red. And then we're going to bring in our dark rail red for the candy cane stripe. If you have a really tiny area that you want to add color on, sometimes just dotting it works really well too. Alcohol ink does spread a bit when you're applying the color, so you do want to be mindful of that as well. And this is our shaded spruce, which we're going to use for our leaves, and I opened up the wrong end. One of the ways that you can tell which end you're opening to is the nub end, or the writing end, has a thin line and the other one has a thicker line. Leaves is what I was working on. Scrap attack is usually much quicker than today, but deciding to color with the blends is making it a little bit longer, but that's all right. It gives you a couple of ideas of the versatility that you can have when you are creating even with scraps. Okay, we'll make our chocolate chips. I don't know, do you guys do chocolate chip cookies for Christmas? We don't usually. For me, well, chocolate chip cookies are my favorite. They're like an any day of the week, any day of the year cookie. Stampin' Up! Used to have a color called chocolate chip, and it was lovely. It's a little bit more of a warm brown compared to early espresso. All right, so you want to hear that snap when you close your lid, and then, whoops. Oh, stuff is just falling left, right, and center. Oh, with the enamel dots that we used on the last card, if you want them to dry a little bit more quickly, you can grab the wrong color, and that's a blend. There, clear. I had an old silver Wink of Stella on my desk. I wanted to grab the clear one, but that's okay. Oh, actually, I just had an idea. And this idea also lets us use scraps, and I can, oh, my snips are over there on my desk, on my other desk. Actually, I'll use my daughter's crafting scissors for the idea then. So if you make a mistake when you're coloring a small little area, I'm just going to do this. And I've got some teeny tiny bits of white here. All I really want are the marshmallows. Sorry if my head just got in the way there. And then these are weird scissors, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them. We'll do this one. Oh, these weird scissors and a teeny tiny little cutting surface. Okay, so there's one. And we'll do this one. Welcome to Here's How You Fix a Mistake while you're paper crafting, so you don't have to redo everything from scratch. I don't know. I like to come up with different ideas to fix little mistakes that sometimes happen. All right, so now we've got this. And I had there's a pack of mini dimensionals here, but we're just going to use the regular size and cut it down. And then I'm going to have to wash these scissors to get the adhesive off later, but that's fine. Okay, so we're going to stick this guy down there. Peel it off. So this one is going to go there. Actually, you know what? What I was going to do, and I've since changed my mind since shoot, I have added this and it's not going to work now. I was going to just punch out in two and then piece it together like a puzzle, but since we're adding marshmallows and I've already 3D'd them, I'll show you what I mean in a sec. I'll just restamp and then show you what the vision in my head was. I don't know that we're going to do that teeny tiny one, but we'll see. It's okay, then we're going to do that one. And then, you know what? I think we have to do that small one. It'll balance it. There we go. All right, now make sure we have the right wink of Stella. And we'll just add our Stella to this guy. And then we're just going to fussy, oh, we're not going to fussy cut. We'll use our paper trimmer. When things don't always go according to plan, you just weave and bob and it's all good. When you're using your paper trimmer, if you see something in the cutting guide, it is too close and it will be cut off. So you want to make sure that whatever you're cutting is well outside of that guide. There we go. Okay, so what was in my head was this. Oops. Now, it would have been colored. It would have been all of the things. But the plan in my head was to do something like this. And then oops, too close to the edge. Oh my gosh. I don't think the plan in my head was going to work. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. But see, I do the ideas, so you guys don't make the mistakes. And then do this. Oh, actually, maybe. And then piece it together so that we have a longer piece. But then if you wanted to, I actually kind of really like how that looks. And then you can't really tell. This is why it would have been colored beforehand so that you didn't see where the split was. And then as long as you're really, really careful putting it together and use a good bit of adhesive, it's challenging to see where the split is. So you could also try that idea, but now I'm going to put this card together because I'm about done with it now. I'm going to do our background piece. I think this is the longest video that I've done in a very long while. Okay, actually, I'm going to trim this little guy off. There we go, that's better. Okay, and then we're just going to layer our cards. And you know what, might as well use dimensionals on the back as well. So for squares and rectangles, I like to use one on each corner. Circles, I usually do 3 or 4 depending. I don't usually put a dimensional on the center just because I don't think it's really necessary. So there you go. We've got 2 cards out of, I don't know, 8-ish. 5x2 strips of paper, and I've even got a few more little pieces that I can piece together for another card if I want to. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I truly appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me. Have a great day, and I will see you again soon.